Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer this evening, Logan Landers. And tonight we have a very special NFL draft profile about the young man coming out of the UCF, Central Florida, Marlon Williams, the very talented wide receiver. And now join me on these Wednesdays. I can't do these alone. I got to bring on the man who represents the 901 Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, like no other, Mr. Football, the football encyclopedia even, Vincent Turner. What's going on, Vincent?
God bless.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, be sure if you guys enjoyed this video tonight, please be sure to like, comment, and share. It means the world to us whenever you guys like our videos, you comment who you think this man might head to, and share them to all your Facebook groups that love some football almost as much as we do. That's a lot. That's a tall task, but I think we got them edged out just a little bit. But hey, let's get right into this one, Vince. What do you like about Marlon Williams, and how you think this man's going to produce in the National Football League?
Well, like I say, I like everything about the young man. He's a football player out of Central Florida by way of Mobile, Alabama. And this is a very deep receiving class in the 2021 NFL draft. But Marlon Williams, I would put him in the top 10 as far as receivers. One thing I like about him with my grade report, size, A+. He's a solid 6'1", about 215 pounds. He's got good awareness at the line of scrimmage. He's excellent with the run after the catch. He's a guy, hey, man, it's going to take about 2 or 3 people to pull him down. Just look at the game film. Then the one thing that you have to have is receive. The hands are outstanding. He can make a lot of catches. If you look at contested catches, he made 75% of those catches against some pretty good football players this year. And most of all, when you look at him, he's got big playability where he averaged almost 14 yards a reception. And if you want game film on him, all you got to do is go to my school in my hometown, the 901 Memphis, Tennessee, where he put up 191 receiving yards. This guy's a very excellent football player. In 2020, 71 receptions, 1,039 yards, 10 touchdowns in 8 games. And as I said, he's a guy, if you bring him on your team, you can play him in the slot, you can play him on the outside, but he's a very, very physical football player. Puts me in the mind, though, when you look on other college receivers that played in this level, of Mike Williams. They went to Syracuse. They got drafted by Tampa Bay. At Devin Thomas, who's a big-time physical receiver out of Michigan State. At Anquan Bolden at Florida State. We know how his career ended. A Lawyer Tillman at the University of Auburn. And Anthony Lucas that played at Arkansas. Pig Sooie. And most of all, he takes me back in the day, and I'm not saying this guy is on the same level, but I'm talking about being physical. The ability to run after the catch reminds me of a guy that was the number 1 pick in the 83 draft the 84 draft by the name of Irvin Fry out of the University of Nebraska by way of New England. This gentleman right here, I love him because he's a guy, he's going to be a handful because he's big at the line of scrimmage, very strong. He has ability to catch the slant. He's ability to go over the middle, and he's got awareness along the line of scrimmage. And what I mean by that, he can get into certain zones of the defense and pick the ball out of the air, and he's a very excellent football player.
Yeah, this guy really is, like you mentioned, this wide receiving class is absolutely stacked this year, and this guy might get lost in the shuffle a little bit when you look at him, but
we tend to have a little technical difficulty this evening here on 100 Yards Football, waiting for my man, Mr. Logan Landers. He's back with us right now. I just finished up with Mr. Marlon Williams, Central Florida University.
Let's see. Here we are. We good, Vince? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
All right. Making sure. All right, yeah, so like you said, Marlon Williams, heck of a ball player in this stacked 2021 NFL draft class with all the amazing wide receiving talent coming out. But like you said, you can't deny how amazing this guy's been on the field and how much he's been producing for UCF the past couple of seasons. And you know how I like to do things on Wednesdays, Vince. I like to bring my 3 teams who I think this young man would be a good fit for in the NFL draft. So without further ado, let me pull these up here for all the fans to see. The first team I have Mr. Williams headed to is the Chicago Bears. Now, I know they just got back Mr. Allen Robinson, who's one of the best wide receivers in the game, but we know that he wasn't too happy there with Chicago. They franchise tagged him, held him on for a little bit longer. You got to think he won't be there too much longer in Chicago. I don't think he'll be there too much longer. So you got to have a good man to replace him. I think Marvin Williams would be a great start. My next pick, I have the New York Giants. Now, the Giants, they just got Kenny Galladay, who's going to be their true number 1 receiver. Outside of that, you can look at your number 2. Potentially, you could get John Ross, the speedy wideout, or you can have maybe potentially a Sterling Shepard if he's on the field. But you never know, man. If you can get Marlon Williams, I think he could definitely step in there and be a great 1-2 combo with Mr. Galladay. I think that would be a very good tandem for Mr. Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones to throw to for the New York Giants. And finally, my third team, who I think this may be a good fit for, would be the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know they got Sammy Watkins, they got Marquise Brown, but if you can get Marlon Williams as that other option, man, just think the D-backs are going to be covering those two guys. There's no doubt about that. That means Marlon Williams is about to get open. He's about to get some touchdowns as well. So I think if you can get Lamar Jackson just one more very talented wide receiver like this young man has done out of the University of Central Florida, I think the Ravens would be a wonderful fit for him, and we'll have to see where he's going to head up. He's going to end up, though, but I think that any of those three teams will be perfect. But if I had to pick one, though, I'd go with the Ravens, help out Lamar Jackson some, and just get that offense even more explosive. So, Vince, give me your final thoughts on Mr. Marlon Williams for the NFL draft coming up at the end of April.
As I said about Mr. Williams, I like the physicality of him. Great size, a receiver, 6', 215, very solid. A guy that had a lot of production in Central Florida. As I mentioned, I like the production he had this year, 71 receptions, 1,039 yards, 10 touchdowns. And a guy that you can put on outside. He's not a guy that's going to run away from people, but he's a guy that's got the ability, as I just mentioned, of a Irvin Fryer, of a Michael Williams, and of the Devin Thomas and Lawyer Tillman, a guy that's very physical and is going to make catches in the game, and he's going to give you production at the receiver. And I've seen him being a very physical slot receiver next level. And if you want to take one other player that's similar to him, a lot of people saying he didn't have blending speed, but I think he's done real well with the Tennessee Titans and A.J. Brown. I think he's became a pretty good player. So with Mr. Marlon Williams, it's always a saying that when you look at this young man, this is a very deep receiving draft. A lot of good players. But I expect Marlon Williams is going to get on the next level like the Ashley brothers say. Climbing up the ladder, Marlon Williams, whoever team he gets to, he's going to be climbing up the ladder with production and touchdowns. This is a very good football player, 6', 215.
Yeah, I like the A.J. Brown comparison you made there, Vince, because I could definitely see a lot of similarities now that you mentioned it. And A.J. Brown is, I think, one of the more kind of slept-on wide receivers in the National Football League, just based off the fact that the Titans don't get a whole lot of media coverage based out of their region. But you can't deny the talent that Mr. Brown has. Like you said, I think Marlon Williams as well is going to be one of the most dangerous slot receivers for a lot of years in the NFL. There's no doubt about that. Well, hey, if you guys enjoyed this video tonight, please be sure to like, comment, and share. It would mean the world to us if you guys shared it to as many Facebook groups as you can get your hands on, like we do each and every week here. Spread the word about what all we're doing. And also, if you have some free time, please go check out our podcast. We're available on Spotify. You can check us out there. Just type in 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our logo right there in the 50-yard line. Or if you prefer Apple Podcasts, well, we're over there as well. That is brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network, who've been helping us out tremendously over the past, I believe, 6 months or so. And we've been doing great numbers over there. Thank you guys so much for downloading all the episodes. We have amazing draft profiles we've been doing for a while now. We have great Legends interviews each and every week. We have our old game previews, of course. You can see if you got our games right. And just a more great, amazing content we're going to be producing for a long time right here on the show. And, hey, it's been a great time talking Marlon Williams, the wide receiver out of Central Florida tonight. As always, with my man, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. Thank you for coming on the show. It's always a blessing to have you on, talking some football with you each and every week. I've been your producer, Logan Landers, and stay tuned right here on 100 Yards of Football for some more great NFL, NCAA, and even high school football content. We got all of it for you right here. Just stay tuned.